intensity and just playing more complete games. What did you think, especially that late surge in the fourth to close out the game and just the urgency?
I thought that late surge was great. At times I thought we were doing a pretty good job and it just wasn't falling our way. They were hitting crazy shots, but we stuck with it. And, that's what you have to do, especially on the road. We've had our struggles, so it's good to see everybody stick with it and come out and win.
Did that fan saying something in particular that seemed to kind of fire you up mostly?
He just was talking from the start of the game until I shut him up. He stopped, obviously. But he had just been talking, like, the entire time. So I appreciate it, though, because I had nothing. I ain't had nothing going. I couldn't find it. Wasn't about to find it. And then shout out to them. It was two of them. He got me going. So I appreciate those guys.
You mentioned kind of getting going, not only obviously from a passion standpoint, but any particular plays in your mind that, like, got you going in the second half?
I think for me, I always like to find my rhythm on the defensive end, or through passing the basketball, and was just able to come up with a few key stops that kind of, I actually was able to come up with some stops in the second quarter that kind of got me going a little bit. And then coming out in the second half, I just knew, we needed stops. Porzingis had it going. And so wanted to try to get to him some and just kind of screw up their offense a bit. But they still did a really good job. But I was just able to find it somewhere, wherever it was at.
You had 11 points in the fourth quarter and Steph had 12. I mean, what just kind of was going for you guys offensively to be able to pull away at the end?
Teams are always going to help off me. So, it was great to see those first, those 2 threes go down. And then from there, they were all worried about Steph. So I got the one open layup, wide open layup. Then I got the dive down the paint. And I got the dive where I got fouled and may want to split the pair. So, I mean, that's the weight that Steph holds. He carries. He's going to draw a lot of attention. They started blitzing him, and once they started blitzing, he just got off the ball and allowed me to make the play. And I didn't, their help side wasn't great, so it wasn't, the kickoffs weren't there. I was just going to those.
You guys had 3 plays down the stretch of the game where it was like, they got a steal, you guys came back, hit a 3, they overturned that block charge call, y'all score. What's the mentality you guys have in those situations to capitalize on those kind of momentum shift plays?
It's funny because when I was going to the bench, AV, one of our assistants behind the bench, he was yelling, "Draymond, it's a momentum when we challenging it." And, we challenged the play and won it. Lamb did a great job of stepping in and taking the charge, although he helped off strong side corner. So told him, great job taking the charge, don't help like that again. But, just guys making plays down the stretch. Jordan was making plays, making shots. Steph was making plays, making shots. So, when it comes down the stretch, those are the guys that's going to have the ball in their hand, and they made plays.
And I'm sure you've been asked this a ton, but how did you develop your off-ball movement when you were a younger player?
I think just studying the game. You got to study the game. You got to study the guys that you're out there with, understand their patterns and where they're trying to go. But I think the most important thing is just really being a fan. I always preach to younger guys, like, be a fan of basketball. So if you watch basketball just to watch basketball, you're going to learn things just because you're watching. I think so many times in our games today, you got young guys who don't watch basketball. I never understand that. How are you going to be an analyst and never watch the stock market? Like, that's crazy, So just, I think you have to be a fan of the game and be passionate about watching. Because if you're passionate about watching, you'll be passionate about learning.
You guys kind of celebrated this win like there was a little bit more outsized importance on it. I mean, obviously the road record is what it is. You guys have had late game scenarios where you've let leads get away. Did this feel bigger than one little regular season win?
Well, I think, number one on the back-to-back, shorthanded. You feel good about that, what we had to do to actually pull this game out. And then I think everyone on our team heard the guy on the baseline talking. And everyone on our team, or on the sideline. And everyone, including our coach, like, Draymond, shut him up. And so I think it wasn't just me that fed off that. Like, I think everybody fed off that. And like I said, shout out to that guy.
Did you have a particular message for him not post game, but winning the game is clinched?
Yeah, he kept saying like, you think you're a Hall of Famer? I better not ever hear you say that again. I'm like that, bro. Been like that. Don't do that. So sometimes you gotta, what they say, let a sleeping dog lie. That's something like that. No, he should have just let me stay where I was. It wasn't here. It wasn't here. So I appreciate him.
So what did?
Last one. Go ahead.
Switching gears a little bit. Steve said that he felt like this wasn't necessarily you guys' best defensive performance. Missed a few switches down the stretch. I mean, what was just your assessment on your guys' play on that side of the ball?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Just your assessment on the defense today.
I didn't think our defense was great. I mean, we gave up 118 points. I thought there were some things that we could have done better, but it happens throughout the course of the game, and down the stretch we were able to get stops, and that's what's most important. But there are some things that we need to clean up, some switches that we need to clean up. That second quarter, I think they got 8 free throws just by being in the bonus and fouling away from the ball. Like, it wasn't like they were like drives and you foul. It's like botch switches foul, offensive rebound foul. So I think we can clean those things up, and you take those 8 free throws away. Going into halftime with a 10-point lead is a totally different game. So I think we can do that better.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that.
Buzzing.